Nigerians, una never hear Peter Obi don break another record. Make una lis ten to wetin dis man dey expose for inside dis video. See, I wan take beg una say make una no allow President Tinubu or any APC supporter to see dis video, because wetin dis man just expose for inside dis particular video about the happenings in dis country, if President Tinubu hear am, e fit no dey happy. But make una lis ten to the end, because dis man just pour out the whole truth about the happenings in this country and the reason why Nigerians need to believe on Peter Obi.
It's that the money was meant for. And again, you look at the kind of intimidation that the ruling party do to non-APC states. We are comfortable. We think we are comfortable here because our governor ran to APC, even against political advice. But we have now seen why the young man ran into APC, because from what is happening in Osun State, that will tell you why the young man ran into APC. Because I don't think he can take the bullet that Adeleke is taking in Osun. If such bullet is directed at Peter, he will collapse. Because he will combine it with the bullet of Wakibie, combine it with the bullet of Chiakoa that are coming on board. And these people are toward Nkani people who are known, who were known far before him. Now, you also add it to the bullet of Tinubu. No, the man will just capsize. So the best option for him is what he did. Well, look at Adeleke. For the past 3 years or thereabout, local government allocation in that state is ceased. The same thing that Abbasani did to Tinubu. Tinubu went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said, as governor, you have no power. I mean, as president, you have no power to see the allocation of a state, because the allocation is not for Adeleke. It's for the individuals and the local government that own them. Now, the same Tinubu has seized Adeleke's allocation. Few days to that time, the EFCC now froze the account of the government account of Osun State. How many days now? How many days to election?
We understand a directive has been given for it to be unfrozen.
But why should they freeze it in the first instance?
That's the big question.
Why should they freeze it in the first instance?
The EFCC is independent. Who gave them the
authorization to freeze that account?
And then the president now overrules everyone and says, okay, unfreeze it. Meaning, of course, the president can ask you to freeze it.
Of course. Like he did. Didn't the president remove a sitting governor? What is the account? How do you compare the weight of freezing and unfreezing account to the weight of removing an elected governor in Rivers State? So you see, it is a kind of macabre dance of madness when lunatics take care of the asylum. So nobody is safe. So that's exactly what's happening in Nigeria now. Now, just check other states. Okay, look at El-Rufai, who was answering questions for Tinubu at the Charter House during the campaign. Simply because the young man, maybe he didn't get the ministerial slot he wanted and he disagreed with the president. Look at what's happening to him. So that is why, so if they want to, it's like, come and be with us. He said, no, come and be with us again a second time. I said, come and be with us. How many times have I told you this? You said, I got 3 times. The fourth one, you come and be with us by force. That's what APC is doing. So it's either you accept. If you can't beat them, you do what? You join them. That is what they're doing. And if they do it during the election, 2 things will happen. I just predict 2 things that will happen. If eventually, because they will try to muzzle also down the IRF portal that will be established by the opposition. Because the opposition intends to establish an IRF portal, whereby if you are recording results live, like Afia TV now, and they want to hook up to the IRF, they will give you a space by what they call picture and picture. You hook on, the whole world will be seeing you. Ajazara will be connected to it, CNN will be connected to it. And it is not a matter of collect results and come to a collection center in Abuja. As you are putting it from the polling booth, you are relaying it there and they are displaying it. So if they can muzzle that one, then that means they have gotten the people. But if they can muzzle that one, that means the people, the tendency that if there is any other result declared by INEC, contrary to the one that had gotten to the opposition IRF, it might spark protest. That is what is likely to happen. And if it starts the protest, nobody knows the extent it will go. And the protest might not even start in the South. I don't know where it will start, but I don't think it is going to start in the South. But it will start somewhere and then spread out. Because the level of suffering. You see, everybody is okay. I think it's Alafin of Oyo, who was the one that went again to tell the man that the level of suffering is getting higher and higher by the day. Why didn't Tibuala and Omokri from wherever he is and Bayon and Oga attack those ones? You see, the issue is that this is an administration that thrives on mischief. What I mean by that, when it is people who have a lot of criminal record that you're assembling around yourself, that is where the English adage comes to play. Tell me with whom you follow. I'll tell you what you are. So if you are an armed robber and they put you in a train, as been train still moves from Zamfara or Kaduna State to Enugu,
That's right.
And the criminal wait for you in Enugu, the lands in Enugu this night. First of all, you will discover where people smoke, take drugs. This night, nobody will show him more. Remember, he came alone. He will discover it. In the next few hours, he will start smoking with them. Before 24 hours, he will go and rob somewhere with his gang.
All right.
And that is what they call as cross-bearer, they call it the law of spiritual homogeneity. It attracts who does what he's doing.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I mean, why have repeated attempts at opposition coalition building since 2023 consistently collapsed? I mean, what does this reveal about the political culture of Nigeria's leading opposition figures? They went to Ibadan and said that the opposition will field a common candidate. What has happened to that Ibadan declaration?
Hand of Jacob, voice of Esau. The voice of Jacob, hand of Esau. That's what happened in the opposition. Every opposition party, APC will try to infiltrate it. And there are a lot of gullible people around who will accept their bidding because people are hungry. Just check it. If you take the roll call from Labour Party, when P2B joined Labour Party, one, nobody knew P2B was going to make the kind of wave he made in 2023, except people like me. Why do I say except people like me? Because I made a video that went so viral that it even attracted what's trending at Arise News. About when I was in PDP then, and I told them, P2B, that we have seen somebody who's going to solve our problem, and they are still talking about party. What do you want with his party? If the man goes to breakfast party, we follow him to that place because he has the way with her. Don't say because of I'm from Southeast too. If you bring people like who I hate them, name them here, and tell me that they are contemporary, nobody will vote for them. But P2B, you have seen something unique about the man. And the anchorman asked me, don't you think this is anti-party activity? I said, which one is anti-party? If PDP doesn't like what I'm doing, let them protest or tell me in plain language. I will dump their PDP for them. And that's what exactly I did. So, when he made that wave, it gave everyone a shock. In fact, the truth of the matter is that man won the election. Forget the shenanigan. But I keep on saying it. When Erufai released his own results, which confirmed, because APC and the INEC have the original result, where P2B won, but they now wanted to call the one they wrote. Leave those ones. Supreme Court has actually lent voice to it, because that also will bring me later to the position of the courts in also trying to muzzle the opposition. Now, P2B now began to continue. He continued his campaign even after he was declared not to have won the election. And that was why pressmen like you cornered him in London, asked him, they said you came third in that election. But every attack is directed towards you. They don't even attack the person who came second. Let us assume without considering the fact that that is true. And the first person goes, who will benefit is the second person. But nobody's attacking the second person. They're only attacking you. The simple as I gave them that somebody who stole from you knows the person he stole from. As simple as that. If I steal this your phone now, each time I pass away, like I will look, I put my face down because I know I stole from you. So the opposition, as they were moving, they now faced Labour Party to stabilize it. Because with P2B stay in Labour Party, it could have been stronger if Labour Party had survived 1, 2, 3 years after the election. They used, even the first person they used was Lamida Apapa. Apapa failed them. Because Apapa was incoherent. They now started using, Abure. Now, Abure, Oti, who is still hanging on Labour Party, Nemad Usman, who was elected interim chairman to be confirmed at National Convention, they went to court. Supreme Court ruled that Nemad Usman is the authentic leader of Labour Party. They sent the CTC to INEC. INEC said they are studying it from February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, almost 11 months. They were still studying the judgment. Immediately, P2B moved into ADC on 31st of December at Nike Lake. By mid-January, INEC now recognized Nemad Usman as the authentic leader of Labour Party. Notwithstanding that, then I say, this Obi man don't want the rest. They saw Obi again in ADC. They moved in. They brought Gombe, who actually was there, welcoming Obi, sat everything, wrote everything, signed and resigned, and said, let the new people take over, David Mark and co. They now brought a man. And the court, competent court, a judge that, is what is called at the bar, gave a ruling, now which they are now denying, gave a ruling that the status quo antebellum should be maintained. All of us started interpreting what is status quo antebellum. For almost 1 year, everybody was interpreting status quo antebellum. Obi left that place and went into NDC. A case that was arrested on 6th of December, 2025. Somebody went and filed an expert application, who was not even a party in the pursuit, saying that the party, they didn't take him along and that he should be registered. Even the court now said they didn't do that. But the record of proceedings that is on appeal says otherwise. You can now see why I said, if you think the opposition is disunited, it's not true. It is the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. And these people know that. That is why, if you have watched Tinubu's campaign, where he was campaigning, they reduced their purchasing power. You think the man is wrong. He's not. He knows what he was saying. If you reduce our purchasing power, assuming they pay you here 200,000, and your rent, you now say your rent is 1 million naira. 1 million naira. You now have to go and borrow 800,000 to make up for your rent. That is what it is, because you'll be feeding. You'll be paying your school fees and you'll be doing other household desires. So he has impoverished us and reduced our purchasing power. So that whatever they tell you with any little money, you accept. It is still for some people who still, manage to float above the poverty line, that you may present some little money to them. They'll tell you no. That's their conscience. They value it more than that money. So that is why the opposition, like you asked me, is consistently uncoordinated. Because the more they try to coordinate it, they try to destabilize it. And when they think that administrative destabilization cannot work, they use the court. And the opposition will now say, no problem, let us obey the court. Because if you say you are not going to obey the court, they'll say, look at people who want to govern us.
They are lawless.
They are lawless human beings.
All right, going to ask again, do you think that the emergence of ADC and NDC as the primary opposition vehicles represent genuine renewal, with all the challenges we've seen, really? And if you have candidates merely moving from a platform to the other, does it really awaken any new consciousness?
Well, you see, beyond the nomenclature of party, ADC, NDC, we go beyond that to look at the individuals that make up that party. Let me start from ADC. ADC, the presidential candidate is Atiku Abubakar. Many people see Atiku Abubakar, like I said earlier in my intro here, as a spoiler. One is that there is an unwritten rotation in Nigeria, which we all now started obeying. When Yar'Adua died accidentally, Atiku was in the forefront of those who insisted even that Jonathan should not even be proclaimed president on what they call it, doctrine of necessity. But at the end of the day, common sense prevailed, and Jonathan was proclaimed. Now, having been proclaimed, he now ran for his own election to complete the tenure of Yar'Adua. After that, he wanted to run again. So that was where the bubble burst. And Atiku vehemently was among those who said it cannot happen because he is usurping the throne of the North. Then said, okay, no problem. Everybody wanted the North. Let them come in. lo and behold, that outside sailed the candidacy of Buhari. So when Buhari came in, that was the North. After the first 4 years, they said, okay, let them complete their tenure. And it was because even that Buhari was there that the NSAS of that 2020 did not even, 2020 did not actually gel. Because the houses were still, whether the man is good or bad, side Buhari. So, having completed 8 years from the North, indirectly it has to come to the South. Let us now say whether it's going to the Southeast or South or Southwest or wherever. But even if you check the South where it has come down to, the Southwest has been there out of the 3 zones in the South. Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. Southwest have been there through Obasanjo for 8 years. South-South has been there too by Doctrine of Necessity, Jonathan, for 6 years. And then the only South that have not been there is Southeast. But let us even leave Southeast out of it. Let us say it is still to the South, whether it is going back to West, South, or East. Now, Atiku jumped into the foray again. Now, having seen that this thing is for the South, he jumped into the foray again and wanted to contest. He did that in 2020. I think he did that in 2023.
Yeah.
He did it again in 2020 for 2027. Now, after this tenure, assuming without considering the fact that the South still retains power, whether it is still with the Tinubu or whether it goes to any other Southerner, like P2B, at the end of the day, they will complete their 8 years. It will eventually go back to the North. And that is why people like P2B said, I will do only 1 term of 4 years. And people say, no, it's deceptive. How can they do? I told them that Nelson Mandela did not take 10 years to stabilize South Africa. The other man who they say is a dictator in Burkina Faso, how many years has he stayed in that place to stabilize that country? Jerry Rawlings, how many years did Jerry Rawlings stay to stabilize Ghana? Remember, Ghanaians were begging people here. They were beggars in this place. So we saw all those things and we know that they mean well. But Atiku is in the foreign. So what is he doing there? Now, Atiku's vice, because I'm taking these candidates one by one. Atiku's vice, Rotimi Amechi, was like Wike, saying something in the morning and doing the thing differently in the afternoon. Wike will tell you, I will never be a minister. I will never ever be a minister. The next day is Anglo to be the Minister of Federal Capital Territory. Remember at Rotimi Amechi, when the you pressman cornered him and asked him, what about if push comes to shove? And they said, okay, step down, be vice president to Atiku Abubakar. Say, my friend, get out from here. Did I tell you I'm contesting to be vice president? You can see the vehemence in his reproach, and you think he's serious. The same Rotimi has now embraced vice presidential ticket with open arms. That is still to do what? To make sure that they spoil the vote of P2B in the South, especially Southeast and South-South. Now, with the players there, I don't see them, my own political permutation, I don't see them as making any serious wave unless they write the result again to apportion scores to Atiku as they used to do. Now, come to NDC. P2B is one of the latest entrants to NDC. NDC was just an unknown party. And today said that even Godswill Akpabio made a mockery when Seriak Desin announced that he has now been registered as a political party. He said, thank God, in this Senate, I have 2 party leaders, APC being led by himself and Tinubu, and then NDC being led by his good brother, Seriak Desin. Everybody laughed. Today, that laughter is no more there. It's not matters of seriousness. Reason, P2B joined NDC. And you can check from the mindset and the political temperature of Nigerian youths. They still have a lot of reliance on P2B. Because this thing is happening on social media. It's what was happening in 2020 when Andon Oshimole told the world that they are using AI to multiply the number of people who come to party of P2B, that you don't vote on social media, then let us go to the polling booth.
Thank you for watching that video. So guys, before you leave, look at the down here. Do well to subscribe and also put on notification bell so that whenever we upload any video in this great platform, you will be the first to to see it. And please